Okay, good afternoon all. Thank you for staying behind, postponing your lunch to listen to this open source and how we empower engineers' innovation through our series of free software, as well as a bunch of development kits, and especially leveraging on the minds and the talents within the open source hardware and software communities to bring innovation to the country, as well as to build further products with quality out of the RS offer. So basically, this is a graciously thank you for EFY's kind offer to allow me to repeat my session, but with half the time that I had yesterday. So I will very quickly go through with you all how the collaborative mindset of open source communities has enabled innovation, along with the free design tools and software to empower creativity in software. So I will spend about 10 minutes only to go through all my PowerPoints, and then I will spend 5 minutes to do a demonstration of the two of our exciting softwares which are catered for PCB as well as three-dimensional design, followed by maybe 5 minutes of question period for you all. Okay, so let me check if my wireless control is seems not to be working. So basically, give you a very quick sense of open source community. Open source basically stems from late 80s or early 90s when a group of the US university students, they were trying to build a collaborative effort in software programming for a kind of expandable, scalable operating system like Linux. And so eventually you see the collaborative effort among the professors, lecturers, and academic community has spin off a lot of different variations of Linux distributions like Red Hat, Debian, etc. So the session that you have been hearing in the last few hours on Raspberry Pi was built on the Debian Linux, and the whole quality of the software and the idea of using Linux is because it's not only it is being free, but the ability to get access to a community of your peers who have had a lot of software programming experience to solve your problems in device drivers, or to solve your queries on how do you build APIs, or kind of connect the Raspberry Pi to the other peripherals. So how large is the community? Not only do we see a lot of you in the room who could be one of the open source engineers, but in just the month of August alone, RS has sponsored a few events in Taiwan. It's a very, very small country compared to India, of course. In a population of 24 million, in just the city of Taipei, we gathered about 2,000 volunteered open source engineers who set aside their weekend to have over 150 sessions of technical workshops, just like this event by EFY as well. So you see, we were able to invite Naren Senker from Broadcom in Taiwan, who is also one of the Raspberry Pi Foundation members, to come and deliver a lot of talks about the Raspberry Pi trend, just like Mr. Shrikant just delivered his talk to you as well. So it gives you a bit of idea of the size of the open source community. So the good thing about it is not only can you ask your questions online, not only can you get the software free online, you can modify, you can upload your source code, and with a specified licensing scheme, you will be able to tell how others can also further improve on your source code and optimize on your source code, and then make it available to the rest. So it's the collaborative improvement in quality of the software, as well as getting into hardware eventually. So not only do we see open source software, eventually a few years ago, I think 6 years ago, Arduino in Italy, they are a consortium of open source engineers who decided to take this journey, the collaborative journey, into the hardware world as well. So we see in embedded hardware design, they have community websites like Arduino that allows you to get access to schematic diagrams of the hardware, as well as some examples like how do you power up Arduino infrared remote control. And as we speak, this weekend in Italy, there's a Makers Fair, which is driven by some of the enthusiasts like Make Magazine in the US. They were able to gather the engineers along with Arduino founder, Mr. Massimo Benzi, to announce a series of Arduino products, including one of the products is called Arduino Robot. And they have collaborated with RS Components to offer 5 video tutorials to teach engineers how to make use of this open source platform to build robots. And so stay tuned on RS Components website. We will be releasing 1 video per week over the next 5 weeks. You will then get to learn how to make use of the knowledges that they have accumulated over the last few years on Arduino programming, as well as to people to tell you how can you make use of this new piece of device like Arduino Robot. So as you can sense from my presentation, it's really a community of engineers who are trying to make the collaborative effort into hardware embedded design as well. Now, nowadays, a lot of suppliers are no longer focusing on just to get a good design win numbers from 20% of their customers who are contributing to 80% of their revenue, but rather their strategy are changing. If you look at across brand names like Broadcom, NXP, TI, Atmel, Microchip, and TI, or even Freescale, they're having a series of development kits whose source codes on Linux are open, as well as hardware schematics. Now, of course, when we talk about open source hardware, you can't really go as far as can you make the SoC semiconductor open as well, because this really is a patent issue. But we are really talking about collaborative work in terms of developing a hardware design with the necessary components to build the schematics of, for example, an appliance, roti cookers or rice cookers. They have a very standardized, these are very mass market consumer products, right? And in order for you to improve on the quality of the product, or in order for you to have a good size or the product design of the product, you have to cater for not only PCB design, but also the mechanical or the shape, the enclosure of the PCB itself. How do you make your product look appealing? The reason why iPad, iPhone are so popular, Apple products, product design. How can product design cater to such a small footprint? You need to optimize on how you lay out your PCB, right? So RS Components offers, along with our suppliers, a range of different dev kits, what we call the development kits. And some of these kits are being shown at our booth as well. And to allow engineers to, based on these kits, not to build, may not need to build products based on these kits, but you can evaluate the semiconductor that drives the power, okay, the processing power. And so with regard to Raspberry Pi, RS is one of the worldwide distributors, one of the 2 worldwide distributors. And so Raspberry Pi has made the schematics, and especially there are a few modules like Bluetooth 4.0, Wi-Fi, and some of the connectivity modules are coming up. They have not yet been publicly announced yet, but they will be available in open source format. So the schematics will be made available, and these are the things that you can look forward to. The whole reason, the whole idea, as Mr. Shrikant has mentioned to you, is to make sure that it is open source, to have a collaborative effort to continue the successful journey of Raspberry Pi. And so Mr. Shrikant has already disclosed the number to you. We had 700 orders per second at peak time when we first launched it on day 1, and RS website was obviously affected as well. And so the challenge on open hardware is this. Now, open software is easy. Download, store it in your hard disk. Open hardware, what are the challenges that you would imagine? Now, when you have a sudden jack up on the expected number of orders, you would need to produce more Raspberry Pis to fill the orders. But can your bill of material, your material suppliers, can they provide that large amount of quantity of hardware suddenly to you to fulfill the back orders? that was a challenge to Broadcom back then. Now, so Broadcom had to work with the supplier partners on hardware to make sure that these collaborate, even if the components are made openly available. But can your suppliers provide the quantities to you on time? We are talking about production of these hardwares. So this is one kind of consideration. If you think about open hardware, we are really not talking about whether you can design it properly, but also you have to think about the supply side, supply of these components to fill the orders. Now, Raspberry Pi examples that we have gathered are like robots, smart TV, GPS receivers. They've gone as far as like a data logging, media center, quadcopter on board, and then weather balloon stations. And this is an example of how they try to use an stratosphere balloon to take the Pi up to sky, take a photo of the Earth. And so the whole reason why they are able to create so many applications is innovation is based on collaborative work. Software is made available free, and you can improve on the source code. But at the same time, there's a corresponding supply of the hardware that allows them to do that. So one of the supply of one of the pieces of components is, of course, this, they have learned the lesson on Raspberry Pi camera. So they make sure that initially, when the Pi camera came out, we don't face the same situation. But then it ended up the first 5,000 sets of camera were being sold within 72 hours also. So then, but that was the story when a few months ago, but supply is now available in our website. So open source benefits, creator benefits, they hold the copyright, they have people to help them spin off the volume that they want to see in terms of the popularity of the open source hardware platform. In terms of software, you have got people to help you improve the code. Collaborative work, again, if you have a bunch of engineers on the internet, if you've got a question, there's a bunch of people who are right in front of their computers ready to help you. So again, this collaborative work will bring the quality of the software, and eventually we hope we will see the quality of hardware to improve as well. So the whole point that we see is you need a community. So RS Components has created, other than its 75 years of business based on transaction, we have started to build an engineers community based on a separate domain that is called DesignSpark.com. DesignSpark.com is intentionally a separate domain because we know engineers don't want to be bothered by price and part numbers initially, but they would want to make sure that things work, functionally work, technologically compelling. So this portal, I would welcome you all to sign up yourself on this portal because it has virtually 20 pieces of contents refreshed every day around different topics like Raspberry Pi, Arduino, Mbed, and etc. So it has discussion forums and product reviews, and there's an open source community that is dedicated for collaboration. So it will allow you to upload source codes to go through the brief proposals, design stage, prototype, and evaluation and test. If you want to set up hardware and software licensing schemes, we have them preset already for you, or you can select from the different types of licensing available. So you've got GNU, you've got these top licensing schemes for hardware, for example. Now, other than the website, we want to help the community of engineers with PCB design. So DesignSpark PCB is a software as well as, now we are, bear in mind we are an e-commerce company as well. 53% of our business is being done online. So every $100, $53 are from our online procurement. And in order for customers to get the most up-to-date information, we connect our software to two pieces of online data. One is to connect you to our catalog. So once you log in to the model source interface at the bottom, you'll get access to our catalog of schematics and footprints. Okay? And you can download them for free and then drag them into the software. You will store them as an offline library in your computer. And then you finish your PCB design. Just like many PCB tools, you can do You can view the PCB board 3D free of charge, online design rule check, unlimited number of layers of board, and the largest size of PCB that you can design is 1 meter by 1 meter. Other than that, in the development kits, we have a lot of connectivity modules that you can order from the RS website. Things like Zigbee and Wi-Fi. Some of these schematics are made open as well. And then we have just launched 3 weeks ago a free rapid prototyping 3D modeling tool that is called DesignSpark Mechanical. Now, why we do this is because we see there's a world of collaborative work between electronic engineers as well as mechanical engineers who